What's going on, Lee Tribe, and anyone else new to the channel? My name is Lisa, and I am from PassiveShirtProfits.com. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you had a wonderful and safe and healthy holiday season. Whew, this pandemic has been crazy, so hopefully you're healthy and safe. So this video, I think, is going to be a good video to do for the start of the year. I know a lot of you all have resolutions or goals to start new things or make more money with certain programs. And so I just want to talk a little bit about KDP, but this video is really not going to be just about this sale I made with KDP. It's really going to be more about approaching programs like Merch by Amazon, KDP, when they are in their mature phase. I'm not going to use the word saturated. I know a lot of people like to use saturated, but I think saturated often means that there's just not opportunity for low effort strategies. That's really what saturation means. As long as there's shoppers, there's going to be demand and opportunity. It's just about, can you stand out? And that's exactly why my KDP book sold within a week. I did something that no one else was doing. Now, the broader niche or the broader idea was something that people had been doing. There was demand for that, but I carved out my own angle and made my book completely unique. And that's why it sold so quickly. And I know it's only one sale, but let me tell you guys something. All I need is one sale. I remember my very first affiliate marketing sale in 1998. And a few years later, I had quit my job, right? So I was all in. Merch by Amazon. I remember my first sale in October 2016. A year later, I had made 40K. So all I need is that one sale. I don't care what people say about saturation. I'm going to do my thing. I know that if I can come up with my own angle, I will be fine. And I want to give a shout out to Kim George because she was my motivation for doing KDP. You guys, I'm kind of in semi-retirement mode. I know you guys have probably noticed I'm not doing as many videos. I really wasn't going to get into anything else. I really wasn't. But I kept seeing that KDP guy on Twitter. And he kept posting his success. And I was like, what is this guy doing? So between that KDP guy and Kim George, who also does KDP, and she's got some great videos on Canva, check her out. Those two people were my inspiration. So after I had finished doing my art and stuff for fourth quarter in December, I said, you know what? I'm just going to put together a few low content products. So I ended up doing a couple of logbooks, journals that were niched down to some very, very small spaces. And I also did 2 coloring books. And I did the coloring books at the end of the month. And that was one of the products that sold in less than a week. So that was all I needed. Y'all better look out. So what I want to talk about in this video is approaching programs like KDP, Merch by Amazon, when they are in their mature phase. This is the phase where you might feel like you need advertising. This is the phase where a lot of people are screaming that it's saturated. How should you approach programs like this? Just remember, there is always opportunity. Now, does that mean that you might have to work harder than somebody that started 2 or 3 years ago? Yes, but there's still opportunity as long as there are buyers. You're just going to have to stand out. And I also should say too, I don't know if I said this or not because I've recorded a couple takes of this. I did everything on KDP under an alias, which was recommended. I do this for obviously copycat reasons, but also I don't want people saying, well, because you're teaching people this, that's how you got your exposure. No, I used an alias. So it's not like I was using my channel or anything to promote the coloring book at all. It wasn't even related to anything that I do. So the first tip, and this is the first thing I want to say about when you're learning something, I think it's very, very important that you follow all kinds of people. You know, it's always inspiring to follow the people making 10K a month, 15K a month, 100K a year or whatever. But a lot of times those people have early adopter advantages. They have products that have been out there a long time that'll carry them through the low months. And I've even said this in my private group, my student group on Facebook. You know, I have to kind of step back sometimes because I'm always like, you guys, you can do this, you can do that. And one of my students even told me, they were like, Lisa, you've been doing this a while. And I'm like, yeah, that is true. And so no matter how much we try to empathize, it's never the same when somebody is just starting. So just remember that. So also follow people who are just getting started. I don't just care about the people making 10K a month. I want to learn about the people who started in the last 2 months and just made their first $10 in a month or their first $20 in a month. So for example, I might go onto YouTube and type in something like first KDP sale or first KDP month, and then I'll use the filter to filter that down to the last year. So I can look and see what people have been doing in the last year, because these people will have much more relevant experiences to share with me because they're starting in this time. So the closer you can get to when you're starting, the better. I don't care if they're not making a lot of money yet. I want to learn about these people. I want to know what they're doing now because I'm starting right now. So don't just follow all the seasoned people, follow all kinds of people. And what's cool about this is I've been on both sides. You know, I'm starting KDP as a newbie when a lot of people have said it's saturated. And I've been in Merch by Amazon for a long time and I got in early. So I know what it's like to be an early adopter. And I know what it's like to get in things when people say it's kind of late. So it's kind of cool in that way. The other thing that I want to talk about too, you guys, is be careful about watching older videos with very specific strategies, right? Because in many cases, those strategies may be a little dated or you're going to have to apply your own angle. Okay. For example, when I started learning about KDP last month, I came across Paul Marles. And I know if those of you guys do KDP, I'm sure you know who Paul Marles is. He's made a lot of money, but I knew when I found his Easter coloring book video from now, I guess it's almost 2 years ago, I knew that in 2022, I wasn't going to be able to just create a generic Easter coloring book because that video was 2 years ago. And how many people created Easter or generic Easter coloring books from that video? So I took the principles from the video, the how-tos, right? Okay, how did you set your coloring book up? But I knew that I wasn't going to be able to utilize that exact strategy and choose that same topic. I was going to have to come up with my own angle, and that's exactly what I did. So if you're going to do a gratitude journal, right? In 2016, 17, 18, you could probably do a bunch of blank line journals and make good money. But I didn't expect to have that experience in late 2021, early 2022. So I didn't even touch that. So if you're going to do a journal, maybe niche it down to something like a first time grandmother journal, which is in a much smaller space, right? So I don't ever assume that I'm going to be able to follow strategies that are 2 or 3 years old. So take the nuggets and the concepts and the principles out of those videos, but understand that if somebody announces something and it gets a ton of views, you know that strategy is going to be very saturated by the time you see that video 2 to 3 years later. And this is a very important point. I want to talk about the illusion of a popular video. Just because a video gets a lot of views, it doesn't necessarily mean that that strategy is the best for you. Sometimes videos become popular because it was created by the right creator at the right time with the right thumbnail with the right type of content. But it doesn't mean that that strategy is going to work for you 2 or 3 years later, or even when that video comes out. And that's not to say that those creators can't offer something useful. I'm not trying to, come down on creators, but I'm just saying it doesn't always mean that that strategy is going to work for you just because it got popular. And let's be real, some people are good at making videos and getting them popular, but maybe not as good as at actually making money with the thing they're teaching. And I'm not talking about anybody specific here. I just mean in general. So you have to be careful with these popular videos because sometimes there's an illusion when it comes to making money online. Just remember that. The final tip I want to bring up, you guys, is about setting goals. When I started learning about KDP last month, December 2021, I told myself, I just want to sell 1 book in my first month. That's my goal. And I was talking to Detour Shirts about this on Twitter. I feel like a lot of people set resolutions and goals that are just so large that you become demotivated so quickly because you're making very, very little progress. So I think it's important to set goals that are challenging, but they're goals that you can still meet so you'll stay motivated. I could have easily said, okay, I'm going to set a goal to make $5,000 my first month. But if I get nowhere near that, I might get discouraged. And I just knew that that was very unrealistic. Like I said, I was really not expecting much at all. I really wasn't expecting to stick with this at all. But I said I was going to try it because Kim was telling me to try it. And I kept seeing that KDP guy in my timeline. So I tried it and it worked. And so I just set a small little goal and said, look, 1 book. And I've already accomplished that. So next month I'll say I want to double what I do in January, just keep it challenging, but realistic. Because a lot of times you set goals that are so big that you lose motivation, you lose focus. So I prefer to do goals in smaller chunks and then scale them up. So just a little tip on setting some goals. So that's it, you guys. Hopefully I'll have more KDP content to come. Like I said, I just got 1 sale, so let's not get carried away. I'm far from being a pro at this, but I'm very encouraged to get that sale so quickly, especially because so many people were saying, oh, it doesn't work anymore. But I've learned not to listen to that. I've got confidence that I can make things work. So hopefully you guys do too. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video.